Hi, it's Brenna. Happy New Year. This is officially the first week of the new year, first week of a new decade. And I'm so excited to be on this new year journey with you. And thank you for being a part of the Kid Counselor family and Play Therapy Parenting. In this video, I am going to share with you 4 major ideas that I think are the 4 most important things that you can be working on as we begin a new year and a new decade from a parenting perspective. The final of the 4 is the big one, the one that you need to stick around for and wait to hear, because that is going to really revolutionize your understanding of what it means to be a confident and effective parent. But 4 main ideas are in this video. My goal is to help you navigate this year, navigate this decade with skills and tools that will help you understand how to be happier as a parent. I think as we begin resolutions and we think about what we want to do differently and what we want to change and make better in our parenting and in our families and in our jobs and in our lives, it's so important to think about what is going to make the biggest impact and have the biggest long-lasting effect on our kids and our relationships. And so stick with me this year. I'm so excited to partner with you and to give you these ideas that will hopefully help you navigate this coming year and decade. So on that note, my husband and I were recently talking, and our son just turned 10. And so we were processing, first of all, the fact that he's double digits now. That's such a huge change. But he arguably might leave the house at 18, which means he is more than halfway through his childhood under our roof, under our care. And that is such a big awareness for us that we have already spent more than half of his life under our care and under our roof with him. Time goes so fast. I don't know how old your kids are. You might have really little ones and you might have teenagers and everywhere in between. But think about that for a minute. Think about what age your kids are and think about how fast that has gone and how quickly that time has passed. And we don't get that time back. And that is just such a significant and important thing to think about. When we go through this parenting process, those hours and minutes and weeks and days and all of those things that we accrue as parents, they go really fast. And so it's so important to keep them on focus, keep them on priority, keep them at the center of our purposeful and intentional things that we do as parents. So with that, let me begin with the first big idea that I would like you to be thinking about this year. And as we go through 2020 together, these are things that I'm going to be talking to you about purposefully. The first is this new year, this first year of a new decade, is the perfect time to break familial cycles that you feel are unhealthy, that you feel are dysfunctional, that you feel you would like to break free from and have a different trajectory moving forward. Often we are the product of the way we were raised. We parent the way that we were parented. We don't really understand how that influences what we do on a daily basis with our kids. And so one of the main goals for me this year is to help you walk through that discovery process, identifying what it is that you feel you would like to change or modify or break if there is a cycle that has been dysfunctional historically, whether that's just with you and your children or whether that's with you and older generations, your grandparents parenting, your parents parenting you. It can definitely be a generational cycle as well. So this is the perfect time to say, I am going to stop that cycle, stop that pattern that has been there, and I am looking forward to something better and something new and something more effective. So big idea number 1, definitely breaking out of those dysfunctional parenting cycles. Big idea number 2, related to number 1, is freeing yourself from the parenting prison. That is a term that I created a few years ago. And the idea of the parenting prison is you are stuck and trapped in a jail cell, if you will, of limited options and choices. And until you realize what you can do to break free from that and have some new options at your disposal, you get stuck in that prison. And so I only know to yell, I only know to withdraw, I only know to spank, I only know to ignore the behavior and hope that it goes away. Whatever those limited set of options are, we get stuck there. And it takes finally being aware of some new options, bringing some new tools into our tool belt, some keys, if you will, and we're going to try some keys and we'll finally be able to open the door. That is what my goal for you is as well, is to get yourself to a point where you feel that you are no longer stuck in a parenting prison. Big idea number 3 for 2020 is I would like to help you and encourage you on the reduction of device use for your kids. I might enlarge that to your family as a whole, because adults and parents are also guilty of being on devices too frequently. But specifically for your kids, I'm not sure how much you were paying attention to 2019 news feeds and journal articles and things that were coming out in the media about screens, children, and children's brains. But if you were aware of any of that research and data that has been emerging, again and again and again, scientists and researchers are finding and reporting that screen use for children is really dangerous. There's a lot of reasons to be concerned. It's very unhealthy, creates all kinds of issues, behaviorally, emotionally, socially, academically, even cognitively in the brain. There's so much coming out that says it's really not good for them. So one of my objectives this year is to help you navigate that process, getting them to a healthy amount of screens, helping to understand why it's so important to reduce the screen use, and giving you some tools that will help in that transition so that you can eliminate some of the issues that may come along the way. So big idea number 3 brings us to the final one, which I promised was going to be the most impactful. Big idea number 4 is that the relationship with your kids trumps everything else. Let me explain what that means. Play therapy is a very well-researched modality for working with kids. So a lot of people in the academic world and in the science world and in the research world study the effectiveness of play therapy. One of the research studies wanted to figure out what it is about play therapy that makes it effective. And so they wanted to test, is it the skills that are used? Is it the playroom? Is it the therapist? They were throwing out hypotheses of what might make play therapy effective. Absolutely mind-blowing results came out of this study. They had therapists who spoke a different language than the children participating in the play therapy sessions. So if I were in this study, I am an English-speaking therapist and I might have been working with a Spanish-speaking child. So there was not a bilingual component. They were not interacting in both languages. Therapist was speaking their language, child was speaking their language, and they were not the same. Play therapy was found to be just as effective when they weren't even speaking the same language. So what that means is the play therapy process works only because of the relationship that is forged between the therapist and the child. The great news for you, and what that means for you and your parenting journey in 2020, is the relationship between you and your child as their parent is the most important thing. And that is what makes parenting work. That is what makes the relationship work. Because it is the connection and the presence and the emotional tie that is formed that is the most important piece of that puzzle. So I am so very excited to help you build a really healthy, positive relationship with your kids this year, because that is at the heart of everything. With a healthy relationship, problematic behaviors reduce. With a healthy relationship, communication increases. With a healthy relationship, you are able to have fun together again and be happier as a family and as a mom or a dad or a caregiver. In whatever role you are, you will be happier when the relationship is stronger and healthier with your children. So I'm very, very excited about that research. I'm very excited about what that means for you. And above all, I know that as we look forward to a new year, we always are thinking in terms of how can this year be better? And one of the most impactful and significant things that you can do to make your life better is to be a more effective, confident parent. And so stick with me this year. I have tons of training. I have the best stuff I've ever created ready to unleash this year in 2020 for you. So if you have not already, to make sure that you know about everything that I'm providing, all the training, all the tools, all the tips, the skills, everything that I'm ready to give away this year, please make sure that you subscribe to my Facebook, to my email newsletter, or to my YouTube channel. I want to make sure that you have everything that I'm ready to give to you this year. So make sure that you've subscribed to those places. That's how you'll get all of my new best content. I'm so excited. I have some great stuff in store for you this year. Thank you for being a part of the Kid Counselor. Thank you for trusting me and letting me be a part of your family in a very small way. Happy New Year. I'm so excited about what 2020 will bring. Talk to you soon. Bye.